Hello Wargamers, this is KJB66, bringing you a segment I like to call On the Desk, just showing you some pictures of things that I've been working on for my armies. And the first picture that we're going to take a look at here is some Gretchens that I glued together yesterday to expand my Orc army for this Orc campaign that we're going to be doing, me and two of my friends. And this next picture that we have here is of an Orc Big Mech that I glued together that I purchased when I picked up the Gretchens the other day. And this is the first fine cast model that I've actually worked with. And I am very impressed with the detail of these models. So if you haven't picked one up yet or seen one, you should definitely check them out, because the detail on them compared to the metal or the plastic is insane. But if you do pick up a fine cast model, make sure you pick up some of this here, liquid green stuff, because the holes that the model's going to have in it, you're definitely going to want to have something to fill those holes with. Now, when I looked at the models, the holes weren't very big and they weren't that numerous. At least they weren't in places that were really very important. But this next picture that we're going to see here is one where you can see where I put the green stuff in the bottom of the arm and along the bottom of the cloak. I thought it did a really nice job of filling those holes, and pretty much you just put it on a brush it on lightly, and then take a file after it's dried. It dries pretty quick if you put it on thin. It probably dried in 60 to 120 seconds, and then I just filed it off, and the holes were filled, and it looked great. Can't wait to paint it up. Now this next model we're going to take a look at here, the last model we're going to take a look at, is a model I've been waiting a long time to paint up, and that's Sergeant Tellian. A friend of mine got him for me for Christmas right after I started my Raven Guard army, the first army that I've actually owned and started in August of '09. I thought his abilities were pretty cool, but in 5th edition, scouts weren't that great. It looks to me like in 6th edition that scouts are going to get a little bit of a boost. I've been working with them and trying them out, and I've been pretty impressed with what they can do so far. So that's kind of inspired me to paint him up and get him on the table. In the pictures, you can see that the base still needs to be done and flocked. If you look close enough too at the pictures, you can see that I cut all the ultramarine iconography off. I just took a pair of snippers and snipped them off, and then filed it down flat. And with it painted up, you can't see it. And when I put the Raven Guard symbol over the shoulder pad, you won't be able to see any of the remnants of the U from the ultramarine symbol that were left anyway. Now, one thing I'd love some feedback on with this model is how I painted the white inside the cloak. Basically what I did was I put down a layer of Fenris Gray, I believe, and then I took that new Eleutheran Gray, I think is what it is, and I painted that over most of the high parts that you can see, and I just left it. When I was talking to some people about it, I kind of dusted the back of the cloak, the black, with some gray, and I think that really makes it pop. But the inside really doesn't pop very much. I'm not much of a blender. I don't really know how to do blending. I haven't practiced it very much, which maybe that would help kind of make it look better. But if you got any tips or anything for how I can make that white look better, I'd be open to some suggestions. And the last thing I want to talk about before I go is a new blog site that me and two of my buddies are starting. One of my friends came to visit from Arizona for a little bit of vacation. We played a few games, and one of the ideas that he and I came up with was playing a campaign against ourselves. So individually, just me playing the game by myself. And the reason we came up with this is the area we live in, there really aren't that many people to play with. The game stores are either too far away, or we just have too many responsibilities and we just can't get to the game stores as much as we'd like. So we came up with this idea of doing a campaign and doing a blog and sharing that with some of the community. So if you're interested in checking out the blog spot that we started, It's called thereisonlywar.blogspot.com. I'll put a link to that in the description. And the E's in there are 3's instead of E's. So if you want to go and check that out, that'd be great. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.